Okay, so for our app we decided to recreate Pac-Man our own way on MIT Alphabet. So right here is a video from our game. We're proud of our music here. The loading screen kind of takes a little bit, but while we were recording, it got really laggy when we were playing. So after this, I'm going to show some actual non-laggy gameplay on the. Kind of skips the death here, goes to a game over screen. Right here, I go back to the main screen. I go back in, and then I'm going to show what happens when you win the game. As you can see, it's jumping around a lot. Alright, so this is when it's about to be done, and when you get the final dot, it takes you to another screen called You Win. And that's the end of the game. Okay.
So how does it work? It works by having, it's basically just like Pac-Man. At first though, we're having trouble with Pac-Man because he was going through the mazes, like the maze and everything, but then we actually created every single piece of the maze. Like, we actually put each piece on. What seemed like a million pieces, like a million variables, we had to specify each part of the maze, and then every, like what it does and stuff.
We also had to program the ghost to go randomly throughout the maze, and all the dots. So that was another component of our game. What part are we most pleased with? We're pleased with how the game actually turned out. We thought it looked really good compared to what we started with, except for the maze, because we tried doing a transparent background maze at the beginning, but Pac-Man kept flying through it, like we said. We were most pleased with how the app turned out. Most of the Pac-Man apps we saw on MIT Alphabet were broken, and whoever tried to create it gave up. We were also pleased with the outline, because it was the hardest part.
What difficulties did we encounter? We encountered Pac-Man flying through whatever he wanted to in the picture. Another one was Pac-Man continuing to move straight, and you were holding down the arrow key. The last thing though was setting up the variables for the outline. Like this would be the outline that we wanted to, but we couldn't use this actual because it wasn't. We couldn't get Pac-Man to go on it.
Adding on to this, we have the arrows, and you had to tap the arrow to move Pac-Man every single time, so you'd be constantly tapping the arrow. So that was one of the difficulties we encountered, and we did not end up fixing it. So. Improvements for our game. One of the many improvements we wanted to add to this was the classic cherry from Pac-Man. It was like extra points in the old Pac-Man, and we also wanted to add these the tan dots, which turned all the ghosts blue. And you could send them back to their spawn. The last improvement we wanted to add was more ghosts, because it would be more challenging, but we found out adding more ghosts made the app even more harder, so we just decided to leave that out. But if we wanted to add more ghosts, we had to have a bigger maze, and that's kind of hard to do with the limited space. That's the end of this presentation, and I'm going to switch over to this one. Okay, so right here is our app. It's kind of hard to see. So our start button is right here, and it plays music when we go to the next page. Let's see. Right now it's being really slow. Okay, so I think that the app's not going to work. Right, so that's going to be the end of the presentation.
Yeah.